Big up Spurs fans. It's with your boy Deji Spurs and your boy Sean in the building. We are back having slapped up Everton 4-0. I mean, the fact that me and Sean, we were wrong with our prediction. You know what I'm saying? We were wrong. We were there being conservative with the 3-0, but our club had different plans. We slapped up Everton. Those of you wondering why I am wearing these stunner shades, I'm not going to lie to you. Some of the transfer window is so dusty. People are moving like Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles. Do you know what I mean? And so it's for me and Sean to dissect that in this next segment. Big up to everyone locked in, locked on. Big up to No Gas. Before we even got in the building, No Gas from the Oz, showing love. Big up to you, my brother. AB15, big up to you. Repping our club. Anthony Clark, the Arsenal fan, is probably shaking his bum for Merino, but we've got other news for you.
He's got that comment on paste.
He's got it proper. On the mayor's hair, big up to you, my bro. Big up, Lumen as well. Let's smash the lights. Big up. Sean, how have you been, mate? We had the game. We saw each other. We came. We saw. We conquered on the weekend. How are you after that 4-0?
Yeah, I mean, basically, we got the result we should have got on the Monday, and that's the way it is. Unbeaten, and guys loosening up their hamstrings for a big season ahead. The quad's on, and we can, and who knows what the season will bring. All I know is that certain clubs are have got ideas above their station. I was watching that Villa Arsenal game. Well, we saw part of it in the pub, didn't we? Post the game. Yeah. And I was thinking, are these two of the contenders for the top four?
It's dusty.
Dusty, as I say, as an old school Henry Hoover, mate. Dusty as that, mate.
I totally agree. And it's going to be mine and Sean's job to bring down the masses and calm everybody down, because there's a lot of people shaking their bums. And to be honest with you, I had to wear my stunner shades because it's hurting my eyes. So we're going to calm everyone down so people will walk properly. So before we get into that, for those people who've been trolling me and Sean in particular, is Tottenham still a big club? Blah, blah, blah. The measure of a big club is by what you do and how people respond to you. So first and foremost, let it be known, I don't think anyone has realized, Sean, but the biggest spenders this summer has been our club. Yeah, put some respect on it. Even though we're buying youngsters, we're still outspending, because that's what big clubs do. You bring in what you need. But Sean, I didn't know. I saw that there was a lot of dusty clubs playing yesterday. And there's a lot of dusty clubs, including Newcastle, playing today in the Carabao Cup. And we've been given a bye. We are in pot one with the Champions League teams. Now, I don't know about you, but when I found out that news, I thought that's about bloody right. We should not be playing second round of the Carabao Cup with all these other, these other like normal people. We need to be with the big dogs, and we are. So you're feeling, I'm sure, did you know about that? Did you know we'd been given a complete bye of round one? I mean, for me...
I knew we weren't in round two because we weren't in Europe. I didn't realise exactly what that entitled us. I knew it would get us into round three. I didn't realise that they're seeding it this year. So I think what this is trying to spread the finances around so that, a small club might draw a big club. So little Chelsea, for example, who aren't in this little club, they could get a game against big Spurs, and then they might actually make some money because people will turn up to watch them.
You know what I'm saying?
Anyway,
make some money and bring in some more players. I like it, Sean.
Yeah, so it's I mean, not that they need any more players. I mean, I believe they're now sniffing their way around Ivan Toney. Yeah. I mean, it's a basket case. I mean, yes, they slapped up a very dusty Wolves at the weekend, but until half time they were barely in the game. So it's all well and good.
It's all well, and for me, the big thing about the Ivan Toney news to Chelsea fans are shaking their bum violently. We know you need a striker, for me, they played, like you said, they played a Wolves team that doesn't eat meat on the weekend. And all of a sudden, they're shaking their bum. Don has been shameless to come out and say that Chelsea could win the league or at least finish above Liverpool and Arsenal, which I just think is complete madness. I don't know if Ivan Toney fits Chelsea's system. And the thing for me, my biggest criticism of Chelsea this whole summer has been just buy the right players, buy what you need. We don't give a damn about Chelsea, and we can tell that Ivan Toney's move to Chelsea would be a really, really dusty move. I mean, I mean, look, they got the win. They got 6-2. Granted, Gary O'Neill got it all wrong, keeping the same system. I don't know what changes he made that second half. Should we be fearing Chelsea and what they're doing? I mean, I don't.
Well,
I want to kind of entertain the conversation for like 2 minutes. Is there anything that we should be worried about from Chelsea?
It's funny if you think about Chelsea and you compare it to Arsenal, where they've got their strengths is in the places where they're buying players. Like Arsenal buying at the back or in midfield where they already had strength, and then you've got Chelsea. You've got like really flair wingers, and even Jackson can score. We have to hands up. We have to say he scored a few goals last year, even though a few of them were gifted to us when we were down to 9 men last year. But they're buying at the wrong end. Their defence is shaky, man. They could easily get slapped up 6-2 next week.
It's true.
I don't worry about Chelsea, no.
It's true. I'm not worried about them, to be honest, because like you said, in that first half against Wolves, they were looking dusty. And the one thing that kind of was disappointing about Wolves is they did the same thing. Cole Palmer into Madueke, and he bloody got a hat-trick from it. Other teams will be wiser to that fact. Ivan Toney moving there is dusty. I also think it's very weird. There's a weird thing going on at Chelsea at the moment, and I think Chelsea fans would agree. I understand that maybe Raheem Sterling, maybe for some fans, might be Marmite. But when you look at that Chelsea team, the experience, the lack of experience, and the kind of quality on the wing, you would think that Chelsea should be showing Sterling more love than they show Mudryk. Now, for me, Sean, if Raheem Sterling is available, I'm thinking, what the hell was Spurs doing? I know Chelsea are unlikely to sell a player to us, and I wouldn't want us to sell a player to Chelsea. But if Raheem Sterling is really not getting that kind of love, we can still do with another winger, in my opinion. Raheem Sterling can play on the right-hand side, right wing. He can do a better job than Timo Werner, in my opinion. Would you have Sterling at our club? I guess is the question that I'm throwing to you off the bat. Because what they're doing, Chelsea, the disrespect that they're showing Raheem Sterling is borderline a disgrace. He is a quality player. You just have to understand the system. And once he sorts out his finishing, maybe you tell him don't shoot, but actually we just need you to cross the ball in the box. We need you to play that high line. He's dangerous, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think a fully focused and a fully fit Raheem Sterling is a really good player. And judging by what I was hearing on pre-season, he was tearing the place up. And it was obviously came as a shock to him because not only did they say you're not 2 days before the season starts, you're not in my plans. We're also taking your number for you, giving it to this new geezer that we brought in, who'll only play 15% of the games because he's always injured. Exactly. So it's like could you dismiss this player anymore? Now my one proviso is the guy's on 350 bags a week. That's a lot of money. That's when you look at the wage structure that we've got, for us to absorb that, it brings with it potential for disharmony, and the last thing you need in a football club is disharmony.
Yeah, he's not worth worth being the highest paid player at Spurs. He's not worth that. No way.
No, he's a good player, and I wish him success wherever he goes. It looks like he's going to Italy, but
hypothetically though, would you start Sterling over Brennan Johnson? Because for me, one of the weaknesses I found in the Everton game, and you know, there are some Spurs fans who are saying, you know, calm down, Dej and Sean, you know, just enjoy the win. I felt we could have been more ruthless. 4-0 was a bit flattering to Everton, to be honest. We could have easily got 9. But I felt the right-hand side just wasn't quite... it was a bit dead. I'm not going to lie. It was fully dusty. Do you think Sterling, if he was to hypothetically be available for us, could maybe just give us that oomph that takes us to the next level? Or you don't think he's needed?
Do you know what? I mean, the thing is, I'm so in with my boy, you know, birthday boy Ange. Happy birthday yesterday, boss.
Yes, happy birthday.
Oh, Biss. We've got to talk about this, Biss.
Well, we've got to talk about this. He's sucking up to
sucking up to the balls. That's unbelievable on Instagram. My God. Anyway, Biss's boss has staked his reputation on Johnson. Now, he sees something in a player. And I think his talent ID is next to none. It's next to none. I see the players that he brought to Celtic, and they tore it up here. And you know, one of them's just gone to Brighton there, that Mark O'Reilly. So, you know, Matt O'Reilly, sorry. So we should, you know, I'm prepared to give Johnson, you know, a little bit longer. And I would, you know, in terms of wages, in terms of age profile, I think he's got the potential to offer us more than Sterling.
Yeah. All right, fair. I'll go with that. Look, Sean, I want to move on to another transfer. There's a lot of Arsenal fans shaking their bum. I think I agree with Benito here. He says it's Merino hype. I saw that Arsenal got it over the line. We've been trolling them the whole summer. The fact that they brought in Calamari, who I have to say, the point I was making, when I was speaking to these Arsenal fans, it looks like I know more about Arsenal than some of these dusty Arsenal fans. Why? I asked them, why would you bring in Calamari if you've got Shiver Me Timbers? That was a legit question. And that surely you should be focused on a striker. Sean and I, we were watching the game in Stratford in a sports bar, hiding, to be honest, having our hats there, hiding because there were a lot of Arsenal fans in that bar. And we could see that Shiver Me Timbers is the person starting at left back. So what's all this shaking bums for Calamari? Bringing him in to be on the bench. Now, Sean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I know social media has gone a bit mad, but one of the most disgraceful things I saw from this Merino guy, first and foremost, I have to say, he looks like the geezer, the actor that plays Somerville, you know, Superman. There's something actorish about this brother. And he also looks like Edu's son, to be honest with you. So I think there needs to be an investigation.
He looks like a waiter in my local Spanish restaurant.
Do you know what I'm saying? No. But this brother had the audacity to bring out a picture of when he was 8 and started to claim that he's been an Arsenal fan from day. I think for me, it was one of the most ugliest things I've ever seen in my life. Shameless behavior.
I've been reporting his parents to Spanish social services, mate. Do
you know what I'm saying? Shaking his bum, Arsenal fans shaking his bum. And I think someone in the chat rightly put, this brother is only coming here to sit on the bench. Should we be worried as Spurs fans? Do you know what I mean? Everyone's talking about Merino hype is a sickness. I agree. I don't know what they're hyping for. This brother is average. I mean, Partey came in and you can see the difference. Do you know what I'm saying? This, you know, Declan Rice came in, you can see the difference. I'm telling you now, we're going to see Merino come in and he's going to come off. But these Arsenal fans, this is the level of dust Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles settings with their sunglasses. Sean, should we be worried? I said it the other day, I'm not worried about Arsenal. I'm looking forward to it.
I just wonder, right? He's come from Sociedad, which is in the Basque country, which is where Arteta's from, and it's the part of Spain that he's from. Yeah. I wonder whether he's there so that Arteta can still practice his native language, because he'd be worried that he'll lose his local
dialect. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sorry, not his local language. You know, let's respect to the Basque. They're a separate nation and deserve to be separate. But you know, it's you know, is that Merino's role? Maybe he's like a Basque language teacher. I'm not convinced. As I say, you and I have been saying their defence was fine, their midfield was fine. The midfield is fine. the striker. I mean, I never laughed so much at Martinelli. Martinelli, what on Saturday? Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, oh dear. Can't believe it.
Honestly, Sean, honestly, I mean, I'm not getting gassed by any of the crap.
Send him back to Juventus.
Had Watkins been a half decent striker, all these Aston Villa fans shaking their bum for Watkins, he was an absolute disaster. If that's Solanke, that's 2-0 Spurs, game, set and match. He misses, gives Arsenal a little bit of a lift, and and the rest is history. But really and truly, even though they had the best defense and they haven't conceded a goal, they are looking shaky, in my opinion. And when they come up against stiff opposition, teams like our club and the way that we attack the ball, I think it could be long for Arsenal. So look, Arsenal get their second signing of the season or of the summer. They brought in Calamari and Merino, none of whom starts for them. Ooh, and ooh. Yeah, Arsenal fans, calm yourself down. You've done absolutely nothing, in our opinion. But I have to say, he does look like the guy that played Superman in Somerville. Do you know what I mean? For those of you old enough to know Somerville, if you don't know it, Google it and you will see what we are saying. Sean, Sancho. I know Sancho is a bit of an odd one. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I know you don't like this. We talked about it on the weekend. Smallville. I don't know why I said Somerville. Daryl's put me straight. I said Somerville. It's actually Smallville. Yes, I do. I knew that Daryl is Smallville. Yeah, Tom Welling is the actor. Thank you. Thank you very much. At least you knew what I was referring to, which is good. Sancho. Is that a shout? I think Sancho is a quality player. Needs to be under the right management. He went back to Dortmund. He was sourcing in the Champions League. You know, my brother played. Do you know what I'm saying? He got to the final. Are we missing a trick here? He's a London boy. Doesn't, grew up not just down the road from our club. I'm just thinking that there's players still available between now, and they're talking about Tottenham could do 1 or 2 more transfers before the season ends. Is Sancho one of the potential transfers that we should be trying to bring in?
Put it this way, to me, Diddy, if you offer me shillings or you offer me Sancho, I'm taking Sancho every time.
Yeah.
I think he's he needs guidance, and I think with our boy Ange, he'll get that guidance. Not an arm around the shoulder. He just needs guidance, and I think it's an unbelievable opportunity if we could get Sancho. I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest. I think our business is done, and we'll see. I mean, a lot of it's paper talk, and we do know that we have a chairman that does like a last minute .com buy, but no, it's. I don't know. I mean, if Sancho was available, yeah, certainly I would ask the question. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think there's some quality out there. I think, sometimes you just need to see proven players. We got a lot of youngsters who I think are quality youngsters. Archie Gay, Bergwijn, Odegaard. I thought Odegaard's performance on the weekend was brilliant. We do seem a little bit lopsided for me, the right-hand side. Unless Odegaard goes on the right, I do think that is an area of weakness. And I think Kulusevski had such a decent game in the 8 that I never want to see him out on the right again. I think Kuli can play the 8 or he can play the 10 for Spurs. So we kind of need reinforcement. The other thing that was worrying me as well from the weekend game, and I said this on a show recently, and they laughed me off the stage, literally. But I would take a Ben Chilwell at Spurs as cover for Udogie. I would take Chilwell all day long. People keep saying, well, he's injury prone. I didn't say he starts. I said as cover. As long as we can get 10 games per season out of Chilwell, I think it's worth spending that kind of that kind of dollar to have the right cover. Because for me, Ben Davies is not the guy. And looking at what I'm reading as well in the papers, people are even saying that we might even bring back Regulon to play that round. God damn, that is justier than Tutankhamun. So is there a shout, Sean? Because I still think, the paper, Romano saying we could do 1 or 2 more things We don't know. Postecoglou said he's pretty much done for the summer. We don't have adequate cover in defence for me. And there is a kid from the Championship. Someone's here, laugh at loud Championship player. Is Zaman. Zaman, I'm just going to say this, Zaman, because you're laughing at Chilwell's wages. Look, we'll pay Chilwell. We can pay Chilwell. What is he on at Chelsea? What, 150 grand? That's what he's worth. No more than 150 grand. And we could offer it to him. My only concern with there is this one player at Middlesbrough that I actually like. I've looked at him and I think he can do a job. And his name is something Hackney. Is it Hayden Hackney?
Hayden Hackney, yeah. He sounds like he's from London anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sounds like a Londoner.
He sounds like he could be driving a cab.
Do you know what I'm saying? And you know, he's from my neck of the woods in Hackney. And I think the one thing I do like about the kind of in montage that I've seen of Hayden Hackney is that he can do those. He kind of reminds me of not quite an Alonso, but there's an Alonso-esque to his game, especially those balls over the top, which is something we didn't do a lot of last season, but something we saw Basuma do on the weekend. And I don't know if that's a new feature of how we're going to be playing. Then you want someone who's a bit more comfortable, because although Basuma pulled it off, you could just tell that's not his game, that's not his style. But I don't know, Sean. You're the little that you know. Would you think? Because I still think we need to strengthen. I'm not fully satisfied with what we got so far.
Well, I tell you what makes you're winning me over on this argument is the fact that remember the guy that you pointed out in that when we were watching that Villa Arsenal game.
Yeah, Rodgers. Yes,
Rodgers. Now there's a guy who I knew nothing about, and yet he was the best player on the park in the time that we were watching that game. He was absolutely brilliant. I mean, it was his error that led to the goal, but other than that, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And I would, so there are players down there at that level. I think Gray will be that. You know, he's in the Championship team of the year last year, the PFA one. So he's recognised by his fellow professionals. I would like some kind of cover which could, someone who could do like Tapsoba does. He can do left centre back and he can do left back, and that will make me feel a bit more comfortable. Someone like that. But we know we've got a bit of we're stuffed a bit on our squad due to homegrown and club trained, and the fact that we're in Europe this year means that we've got to be very prudent with our purchases. Hence, you're getting ridiculous rumours linking us with a return for Marcus Edwards or Kyle Walker-Peters. You know what I mean? So it's like I mean, certainly I hope he's on our list, Hayden Hackney. Everything I've read so far through the summer has been that he is on the list because we've been linked with him in the past. But, as I say, I mean, unless it becomes a deal, it's worth doing. Now, Middlesbrough took an awful hiding last night in the Cup 5-0 at home. And our boy Ashley was playing for Stoke, so it's a difficult one to make a prediction on, but I would certainly hope he's on the list. And who knows? We revisit the window in January, or we come back next summer. It's a building process. We have to accept we're a little bit behind because we've had to jettison a whole load of players this summer. Some of whom have gone with a big check in hand, and some of we've actually got some money for. So I would keep him on the list, definitely.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think so, man. I think because someone's saying to me, we can't. Sancho wouldn't come to Spurs. Odebear's our level. Odebear's a class act, mate. You soon shake your bum for Odebear. And just so you know, Artilero, because we've been waiting for your comments, to be honest with you, Odebear is already shown that he's better than Martinelli. Straight. So if you're going to shake your bum for Martinelli, then you need to be having some respect for my club and for Odebear, who, by the way, is only 18 or 19 years old.
He's going to be tearing a new one out of Ben White in a few weeks' time. So.
I can't wait for him to go up against Punch. That is going to be the funniest thing ever. I mean, he already looks like he's blushing. He's going to be blushing even more when Odebear has free reins at him. Trust me on that. And then Zaman has said that Sancho would never decline to playing for Spurs. Bro, the fact of the matter is Spurs is a big club. If Sancho ain't playing any ball at the moment, and I have to say, the team that he's signed to has got to be one of the dustiest teams I've ever seen in my life. That Man United team is straight garbage, rubbish. And they got themselves shaking their bum because they brought in Ugarte. Ugarte is another stiff player. You know what I mean? Bentancur's best friend in the international Uruguayan team. But the truth is, he's stiff. He's stiff like wood, mate. So for me, if it's good enough for you, then it's definitely good enough for me, if you know that song. So if Sancho can be at United, then he can be at my club. Because whether you like it or not, Tottenham is a bigger club than Man United these days. That's just the truth. All these people harping on about the good old days. Stop watching YouTube vids of Man United in 1992 and 1993 when they had Roy Keane and Paul Ince. Stop it. We're talking about Man United in 2024. One of the justiest teams we've ever seen in our lives. So if Sancho can play for them, he can definitely play for our club. Sure, I've got another question for you, though. It's a legit question, but I think the Italian fan base is not going to be happy with this. Has the Italian league just lost the plot? Because for me, the Italian league is becoming a little bit like League One with the amount of dust that is coming in from the Sahara Desert. These brothers, Napoli, have just signed Scott McTominay. I'm not having a go at Scott McTominay, but he was never a big six player. These brothers have got Tammy Abrahams. They've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek. They've got a whole bag of UK talent that I don't know if they get into the Bournemouth team. And I'm happy for McTominay because at least he's made a good move for himself. A bit like Gallagher as well. Let's be real. He wasn't going to
also signed Billy Gilmore as well.
Who?
They've just signed Billy Gilmore from Brighton. Napoli.
Have they?
Yeah.
Bro, what is going on with the Italian league? They're just fully bringing in these players from the Prem.
But you know what?
What's happening?
There is a whole raft of Scottish players in particular who are going to Italy and they're becoming very good in this particular league. And you know, the fact that some of them were injured just prior to the European Championships meant that you never got the full strength Scottish team in that championship. And they were down to the bare bones, let's be honest. But it's a good proving place. I like the look of that Tamari that played at AC Milan. He's an ex-Chelsea kid.
Yeah, I like him.
My team in Italy is Roma, and 2 seasons ago, Tammy Abraham ripped it up for us. But he's like a lot of players, prone to injury and drops in form. But someone's going to buy him. Roma are a selling club, unfortunately, and someone will buy him. But. I mean, there is a problem. There was the Juventus scandal in the 2010s, where they were basically paying off the ref, but they dealt with him. They sent them down to the bottom of the league and said, "You come back, you come back when you can."
Yeah.
And but they were hit badly by COVID, really hit badly by COVID, and I think the whole place has gone to wreck and ruin. In fact, it kind of reflects Italy's economic situation, where it's quite in a poor state economically. Italy, I love which is a shame. I really love the country. People are really nice, really friendly. But I mean, it's a good proving place for British talent, much like Dortmund became a few years ago. If you wanted to go and become a player.
No, I agree. Italy, I used to watch it. I mean, I used to watch it on Channel 4 and, on the Sundays and when they had the likes of Hernan Crespo, they had, Gabriel Batistuta. That was kind of my generation, the big name players. I just look at the rest of Europe. And I had this debate with Northside the other day, and I said Prem over La Liga. But definitely, you got to say Prem over the Italian league. The Italian league has become a place where we send our rejects in a way,
or our talent, or our young talent,
all our young talent. Yes, let me be real, because Harry Winks had a sniff. Was he not playing for?
He played for Sampdoria, and for all accounts, he did really, really well there. They want, they would have wanted to keep him, but they were relegated in that season because, it was nothing on him. That was just the fact that they were, again, like a lot of Italian clubs, in financial bother. I mean, that was part of the problem why Conte left Inter, is because every year they were having to sell players in order to survive for the next season.
Yeah, no, fair. I guess I just want to see Italian clubs strong again.
One good thing about Serie A is that you've had 4 or 5 different champions in the last 4 or 5 years, which, God, we could do with that in England, with the exception of them lot at the other end of the Seven Sisters Row. We never want to see them as champions. But
hell no.
So anyone but Arsenal, ABA, always the way. But you want the title shared about. Otherwise it becomes dusty. It becomes a Henry Hoover in the back of the school cupboard.
You know what I mean? Sean, let me bring in some of the kind of comments in the chat. Big up to everyone that's locked on. Artillero is out here. He's clearly sitting in his underwear in the heat down there. It's 32 degrees in London today, and he's sitting in the underwear with his fan on, bashing away at the keyboard. He said Martinelli scored 15 goals in one season. Odegaard couldn't break 2 goals. Bro, when was that? When did Martinelli score 15 goals? Because how many did he score last season? I got sent a message during the game on the weekend that Romero has got 6 goals in 2 seasons, the same as Martinelli. Let that sink in. Our defender is clocking the same amount of goals as your so-called starting winger. I wouldn't have Martinelli start for Spurs, yet you have him starting for Arsenal. You can't win the league when you've got dusty players like that in your starting lineup. But Sean, is this a shout? Put Odegaard on the right instead of Johnson. Sorry, I know you don't like this, but I have to keep asking you over and over again because you are literally
based on a small sample size of one game. Yes, but it is the proviso is that Solanke's in the middle and Son's on the left.
Yeah. No, I agree. It has to be that. If it's not that, then it is Dusty and Tutankhamun. Sancho apparently is going to Juve. I think that's a good move. I do think the one thing I will say that is pretty positive about seeing young English talent going to Italy is once upon a time, people used to criticize English talent for not having the balls to go abroad. And now we see that it's a thing now. We're seeing young talent in the Dutch league, young talent in the Italian leagues, the German leagues. And so for me, if you're a young person who you're not getting a sniff at your club, then you've got to do a thing. And let's be real, whether you like it or not, I know it's not the Juventus of yesteryear, but Juventus is still Juventus, even if you say it quick. So, and with that regard, it's a respectable club to have in your CV. So if Sancho is going there, big up to Sancho on a personal level. However, I will say that I agree with Stephen 98 Lewis. The Italian league is rather dusty, in my opinion. Stephen says he's never seen my camera so clear, and that's probably because I ain't got the bloody lights on, to be honest with you. I don't know why my camera is one of the dustiest cameras around, but I will be getting that sorted soon. Artillero is just sending a whole load of things that I want us to answer, Sean. So he said, you want to see everyone strong against except your Tin Pot club.
I mean your Tin Pot club. Your Tin Pot club.
Tell him.
Your Tin Pot club could hover over the relegation zone every year and I would be the happiest pig in shit.
Mate, I don't give a damn.
I don't want them relegated because they missed the derby.
But no,
let them have last day escapes. Let them have Let them have a flirtation
Sean,
with the bottom.
Sean, you're too nice. I never want to see these brothers again in my life. Let them be playing the likes of Wrexham. I don't give a damn. I need to see Arsenal.
Let them become the third team in North London after Enfield Town.
That's what I need. I need to see this team done at it, and that the Arsenal fans move into Colchester and other teams like that, because that is the level of dust. I hate Arsenal so much with a passion. Dan the Guffer says, Deji, you are a genius. Big up to you, my guy. Big up to you. And then Daryl is saying, what was interesting in having Odegaard over there with Madders and Son freed up? It freed up Son on the corner of the box, his sweet spot, sorry, and that was welcome. The other thing is, big up to, I think they're called UK Spurs or Spurs something. I watched a video this morning about Postecoglou's kind of style of play, which I really love, Sean. And you were talking about it when we were in the stands. The fact that we are overloading the Everton team. We literally left Van der Ven and Romero on their own. And apparently that's a new adaptation to the system. The other thing I said before, Sean, which I thought was something, I said part of the reason why Madders lost form was because Timo Werner was out on the left. Yes, my beef with Timo Werner is legit. If I see this brother in the street, I'm getting arrested. And the fact that we had Odegaard out on the left, could you see that Madders almost came back to himself? And had it been Timo Werner, Madders would have had a dusty performance, in my opinion. But I don't know. Did you see the little magic nuances?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the first half in particular, Maddison, Destiny, and Odegaard were like really, sourcing, and it was them that were really, creating problems. And then it was coming out to Son, as they say, in his sweet spot, and he had that shot which Pickford made it was more for the gallery, wasn't it? Save, but if he wants to do that, fair enough. I mean, it just goes to show sometimes he's more worried about his gallery of pictures rather than necessarily helping his team, because that was dusty, that second goal. I mean, and well played on our boy Son, who was getting all sorts of abuse after Monday at Leicester.
Yeah,
he shows he's got the legs, not only for the legs to intercept Pickford's attempted cross, also to keep up with Mickey Van der Ven for that second goal. Did you see his legs going?
Mate,
unbelievable. And he's saying, don't pass to me yet, don't pass to me yet.
I had to watch it on the replay because, when we were watching him,
he
just looked like he just kept going forward. But, sometimes when you're live, you don't get to appreciate the game as if you're watching it on TV, actually. Because from our angle, he just looked like he was just jogging his way up the pitch. But when you see the little change in speed and them literally struggling to keep up, that's the bit that I thought, that's mad.
I mean, I've never seen his knees rise so high and Sonny just going like a piston engine. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
That is crazy. And the thing is,
the other thing I noticed, getting little tweaks to the system.
Yeah,
I felt that the fullbacks weren't quite so desperate to get into the penalty box.
Yeah,
I found them hanging back a wee bit.
Yeah,
and I wonder whether that's because we don't want to get done on transition.
I think so.
And maybe we'll need a more formidable opponent. So this Sunday will be really important to see.
Yeah,
how that's a regular thing. I just feel there were little sorts of things. Someone was saying that on corners we were going part man to man, part zonal.
Yeah.
So, little things like that are being worked on. And these two new coaches have come in, and from all accounts, because
we brought in a set piece coach, and lo and behold, we scored from a set piece, which was I don't even think we scored a single goal from set piece last season. I don't remember. So that already is an advantage or a lift. But also, Sean, you know what it made me think? I was speaking to Toon Tactics on Monday, and we were literally going head to head, and I was telling him, and he was talking about the fact that Newcastle are a bunch of barbarians and he reckons we won't be able to hack it physically. And then I realised and I thought something that we saw on the weekend. Everton couldn't get a sniff because Van de Ven is so bloody quick. And the Postecoglou system needs quick centre-backs, which we know. And Romero, actually, no one talks about the speed of Romero, but Romero is actually quite quick as well. In fact, our whole back line,
rapid, yeah. He's quite
they're all quite quick. If you really think about it and deep it, the reason why we struggled against Newcastle last season away, because apparently Udogie played, and I totally forgot that, is because Van de Ven had a bad game. So then you just got to flip it. If Van de Ven has a good game, does Isak score? He doesn't score. It's that simple. He doesn't score. So for me, I think there's a lot more positive Spurs fans that we can take from this Van de Ven. If Van de Ven is 100%, Isak ain't doing diddly squat against our club. Even if they play Gordon on the right and Harvey Barnes on the left and Isak up front, they're getting slapped up because Gordon is not beating Udogie, Barnes is not beating Porro, and there's no way Isak can deal with both Van de Ven and Romero. So I think things are looking kind of positive. I mean, we've got Toxic Twala there telling us about Isak and Gordon. My response to that is it's light work. Sean, I will put this to you because it's from Dan the Guffer. It says, Deji said, if Ange don't finish top 4, we are starting the Ange out campaign. Well, I said we have to show improvement. We cannot finish top 4 and win the Europa League. As long as we're in the Champions League next season, I think Ange stays in the job. I think he stays in the job anyway. But if we are not in and around there competing, then I would be very, very, very disappointed. And he said, don't start with the Arteta comparison. You've literally said your first 11 is better than Arsenal's. I have to say, Dan the Guffer, did I stutter? Let's do the breakdown right now. If you want to do the breakdown. Vicario is better than Raya. Let's say they're on par. I'm looking at Sean here to tell me off if I get it wrong.
Well, I think you got that one wrong. You got that wrong already.
What? Vicario? I'd rather have Vicario personally. I'm trying to be nice.
I mean, you know, do you get a Raya mistake like he made at our place last season?
Yeah, you don't.
Vicario, I don't think you do.
No, you don't. Actually, you're right. Actually, so Vicario over Raya. We'll have Udogie over Shivami Timbers. I think, although Gabriel Morelos has formed a fantastic partnership with Saliba, that you can't doubt. I think if you ask most of the top 6, who would they have as a centre back? Van de Ven or Gabriel? I think they take Van de Ven.
So many fans have said they slept on it. Why did we sleep on Van de Ven?
Exactly.
Because talent ID. And that's
talent ID, indeed. So you take Van de Ven over Gabriel. I'll give Saliba over Romero because I think Saliba just doesn't make as many mistakes. In fact, he doesn't make any mistakes from what I've seen of Saliba. I would take Pedro Porro over Punch. What Arsenal fans try to skillfully do is talk about the defensive side of Porro's game. But they fail to kind of, almost look at the whole picture. Okay, for where Porro might slightly let us down defensively, and it's not because he's not defensive-minded, it's because he has to do the inverted role. He gets in goals. You're not going to get the same output from Punch. Yes, Punch can stand there like a trunk from a tree trunk, standing there at right back. He can do a Wan-Bissaka, but he ain't giving you nothing going forward, mate. So overall, I'd rather have a right back that can get 8 or 9 Premier League goals than a right back that just stands there looking like Punch. So I think you got to go with Porro. Midfield, Partey over Basuma. I'd have Madders over Odegaard all day, every day.
Did you see that? Did you see that chance that Odegaard skied late on against Villa?
I mean, Odegaard is a disgrace. The way Arsenal fans shape their bum for him, I just can't understand. But let's give them Declan because at the moment we haven't quite pinned down our number 8. But you've got to have Son over whoever they've got on the left.
Martinelli, come on.
Martinelli is just even Trossard is, you know what I mean? Trossard is good, but he doesn't start. You got to go Solanke over whoever they got up top. Who is it? Havertz. Yeah, so you go Solanke. And then you give them Saka. I mean, come on. I think, based on what I've just said, and I wasn't counting, that is more Spurs players than Arsenal players if you're being legit. Don't be stupid. Because a lot of people, when they do the team comparisons, they're dumb about it. But Tottenham's team, I'm not going to lie to you, it's really up there with your team. So you guys need to just calm yourselves down. VDV has had one howler against Newcastle last year. No one remembers that we turned them over. But Daryl is right. People, they're trying to downgrade Van de Ven, but he only had one howler. I'm telling you now, if Van de Ven has a good game this weekend, it is long for Newcastle. I've got us to beat Newcastle. I've got us to beat Arsenal because, like I said, Sean, I want our team is fit. When our team is fit, oh, God. It is long for these guys. I can't wait. I really can't wait, Sean. I can't wait. Bag these guys up. I can't.
You're going to kill me here, Jesse. You're going to kill me.
I don't know why they're so blind to it, bro. One game, and they're trying to make out like Van de Ven's not the man. He's going to slap up that Issa. I watched the Bournemouth game. I did an op watch. I watched it. They were rubbish. Yeah? Bring it on. This is the right time to be playing Newcastle. Play them now. Play them now, the bunch of zebra crossings. I'm not even going to read what Artillero said there. Van de Ven had a shit game because it's...
He's shouting. Stop shouting, Artillero.
Yeah, I'm not even going to listen to that. Dr. Johnny says...
Better than Watkins. What, that brother who was posing as Ollie Watkins on Saturday.
Watkins is rubbish, bro. He is rubbish. He said, you think like he's better than Watkins, so your opinion is meaningless. Have you seen Watkins, bruv? Has Watkins scored? Solanke scores that. At least answer that. Come on. Man United signing everyone's rejects like Syria. That's it. Dusty players. Man, I don't even talk about Man United anymore because they're that dusty. They can't talk to me. I don't chat to no Man U fan. Cass is lucky that he got to me before the dustiness really kicked in. It's only because I like Cass, really. I don't talk about United. I don't give them any airtime, and that's about it. That's the only airtime we're giving them now. Dr. Johnny says, Vicario had multiple saves last season, 2 goals when fouled, i.e. rule change, and everyone forgot. Yeah,
Exactly.
You
know, we got... Man City got past us in the FA Cup through a foul, which became a foul 2 weeks later.
Can you imagine that?
Don't ever give me that. And then they got to the final, and then they lost to the dustiest Man United.
Oh, it really just...
What was the point of doing that, City? What was the point of doing that, City? Beating us in the FA Cup just to go and...
honestly.
Oh, God.
But what I do notice is that every decision goes against Spurs, okay? And then the rules change later. I remember I was talking to Toon about it on Monday. The handball. I mean, come on. Bro.
He jumps up. The guy heads it from behind him, and he gets the penalty. Unbelievable.
Even now, Liverpool fans will tell you that the Sissoko handball ain't a handball.
What?
But history's done. We lost. The penalty was given. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
how many times have our club been robbed? It's dusty. If we just had the right decisions, we would have probably had about 3 or 4 trophies. I kid you not. It's a disgrace. We win that Champions League final had they not given that penalty after 1 minute to Liverpool when it touched the brother's hand, and now that happens in the box, it's not given. Can you imagine that? Honestly, Sean, we have to remind these cronies, the artilleros of this world, all these people shaking their bum, bashing away at the keyboard. They need to be reminded of how our club's been robbed over the years. Dan the Guffer's trying to rank players here. I don't know what he says. He says Raya, Ben White, Van der Ven, Saliba, Udogie, Rice, Madders. How can you have Madders and Odegaard, Saka, Son? How can you have Jesus? Are you mad? Jesus doesn't get in. Odegaard doesn't get in. This is rubbish. Dan the Guffer. He's trolling, man. He's trolling. You can't be taken serious, Dan. That is one of the worst teams I've ever seen in my life. Is it what 4-4-2 or something? Or what's this 4-5-1? Ben White, Van der Ven, Saliba, Udogie. Yeah, I don't know about Raya, mate. He's got Rice, Odegaard, and Madders. He's got Saka, Son, and Jesus. Very, very poor. Very, very poor. Madders over Odegaard all day, every day. I haven't seen anything from Odegaard in the first 2 games. Have you? He was dusty against Aston Villa. I didn't even know the brother was playing. He didn't look like it. Oh, can Arsenal fans correct me? But I watched part of that game and I don't remember seeing Odegaard on the pitch. That's how dusty the brother is. We can all safely say Madders has had a better start for this season than Odegaard. Can we all just stop trolling and be real? Big up to Arsenal, Herbert in the building. He's confirmed. We know you're an Arsenal fan, my brother. Big up to you. But can you be legit and say who has had the better start to this season, Madders or Odegaard? Can we just be real on this? Artillero says that mine and your delusion, Sean, needs to be studied. I love it. Our players were still drunk, laugh out loud is what Stephen, are you a Spurs fan? Can you just confirm, bruv, your head and shoulders in your eyes? So, are they going to call Madders on this international break? I think they will. I think Madders has had such a good start. I mean, the thing is, if it was Southgate, I could pretty much tell you for certain that Madders would have been called up. But this brother, this interim manager that we've got, we don't know. He could be a complete madman for all you know. He might just bring in players from the championship. We don't know, do we? Because I've never seen this brother in my life, the guy that's the interim manager for the national team. So we don't know. Let's see what he does.
He knows young talent. He got the under-21 team to win the Euros. So, yeah,
okay, so definitely he's certified. So, let's see. It will be interesting, but I think Madders deserves to be called up based on his performances so far.
Sean complaining about VAR.
He's not going. It's not going Tottenham.
Oh, for God's sake, don't go there. Don't go there. Let me see. Now, let me replay. Oh, hold on. And it's Kulu. He's cut inside. He's brought down in the box. Then Maddison is kicked and in the box. No penalty given on both occasions. The ball gets hoiked up the field to Saka, and they go and score.
Yeah.
I replay that in my head all the time.
Yeah.
Oh God, don't give me that. Where was VAR when the penalty was 2 penalties should have been given? Oh my God.
It's one of the dustiest things I've ever seen. But Arsenal fans won't talk about that, will they? They always talk about it. You know, shameless team, disgrace. Same old Arsenal, always cheating. There's a reason why we have sayings and why that saying came about.
Let's go back to brown envelopes in 1990, shall we?
Tell me about it. Brown envelopes
after the First World War, Arsenal finished 6th in Division 1, miraculously catapulted into the First Division. Now, how the hell does that happen?
It's disgrace.
Without money changing hands. Crooked, always will be crooked, and our South Londoners to the
Dirty Club. What's that series I used to watch on
the story? Freddy Krueger. George Graham handed out the club for transfer backhanders. Horrible club.
It's a disgrace.
Horrible club.
Horrible.
The team that made a virtue out of back passes. I remember Ian Allison back pass from inside our area at White Hart Lane. Oh God, they are horrible.
Trust me.
Do you know what, Deji? I'm now saying let them be relegated.
Mate, I'm telling you, that's what I'm telling you, Sean. We don't want to be playing in the same division. Get these lot out. Get them out and change their status to somewhere in bloody Milton Keynes. I don't want to see this club in London anymore. They should move to Luton or something. Do you know what I mean? Somewhere out of the capital. I don't want to be seeing this dusty club ever again in my life.
Horrible club. Horrible club. Make themselves squeaky clean. Oh, look, we're not filthy like Manchester City. It's in your history, boys. Learn your history. We know your history.
Exactly. Let them know. Big up to Stephen in the building, Man City fan. We've got you to win the title it's light work for you guys. Big up to you, Stephen, for being there, locked in, locked on. And Anthony Herbert is saying, I think they both had a good start, Deji, but if I'm honest, Maddison will score more goals than Odegaard if he stays injury-free. Big up to Anthony, you know. That is one of the most level-headed Arsenal fans out there. Everyone, if like and subscribe on Anthony Herbert's page, you know what I'm saying? He's letting you know what it is. We're not lying on this channel. We're telling you one. We're telling you what it is. Matters, if you put if all things being equal, Matters will outshine Odegaard all day long. So respect
the Real Madrid reject, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And performance equal, because Arsenal fans like Artillery will say, but it's not, you know, it's not about the goals. Yes, it is. If you're on a midfielder, you're an attacking player, that is also counted. That's like going out
Does
on
he play a 6? No, he doesn't play a 6. He plays an 8 or a 10. So he's got to score.
It's like going out on a date and saying that the clothes don't matter what you're wearing. Of course it does. Everything has a part to play, mate. The goals, the defending, the running, fitness, all of that. It's all has a part to play. And if all things being equal, I agree with Anthony Herbert. Matters is head and shoulders above.
Top man.
Sean, I guess that is the transfer latest. I have to say, in terms of transfers go, before we wrap up, I think this has got to be one of the dustiest transfer windows we've had in the Prem. Maybe dusty in the sense of we've not had any names, no big names. Maybe this is the season for no names, but maybe the no names yet become big names in the future. But if it comes to the kind of gravitas, the pool, there's not really been any big, there's not been a whoa signing. And I think today, Liverpool signing of Chiesa is one of the dustiest things I've ever seen in my life. Because Chiesa is injury prone. He's not the same Chiesa of yesteryear. And there is no need for Liverpool to be bringing in a Chiesa. It almost like, well, because he's available and he's only 13 mil, we'll just bring him in.
Yeah, to me, it strikes me as like playing to the gallery, isn't it? Liverpool haven't brought anyone in apart from a keeper for, next season or whatever. And the fans are bumping their gums, saying what's happening. And I think, as you say, it's the price has been the attractive thing. I don't think Chiesa. Why have Juve let him go for such low money? I mean, it does.
13 mil is a disgrace. Yeah. I mean, they're saying basically Chiesa is cheaper than Harry Winks. Chiesa is cheaper than Skip. If you think that Chiesa, all what he's done, and he's gone for 13 mil, and we sold Skip for 25, I mean, what the hell's happening there? What is going on in this football world?
I think PSR and FFP have reined a lot of things in, and now it's all about talent ID, and that's why clubs are going towards data models, including our own club. Getting involved in data. And I think we'll see more of that, and it's all about buying for the future, and turning making them into superstars, and then selling them on to the super clubs.
That's what it feels like for us. Although I think this time round, because of the amount of young talent we've got in the squad, if we can keep him together and then Postecoglou can do what he does, it could be really exciting times for our club, because I feel like they're all in and around the same age, 18 to 21. Yeah. You just have really just give them 2 seasons, not even, even another season. And they could all be hitting their prime early. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to wait to 26, 27 anymore. I think some of these lads can start hitting their prime from 21, 22, 23. Then that could be really exciting for our club, moving forward. So, but I guess in terms of fancy names, there hasn't really been any fancy name. Man United fans lie to themselves that they've had a good transfer window, but let's be real, it's pretty dusty. I think.
What is Ten Hag doing trying to put together a 2019 Ajax team?
I mean, honestly, the guy is Ajax United in disguise. Soon, Old Trafford will be at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. To be honest with you, that's what they do, building a new Man U stadium in Amsterdam. With the way that Eric Ten Hag is moving, he's moving absolutely Mad. I would have to say, Sean, on the face of it, I think Spurs have had the best summer window, and that's not being biased. Who's had a better transfer window than Spurs?
Well,
I can't say Chelsea. I can't say Chelsea.
No, I mean, I think what you have to do, you have to look at the squad that finished the in the Conte era and see what we've done, because it's not just about the rivals; it's about the players we got rid of.
Exactly.
And that's one thing that's not been good at Tottenham for years is the churn. And that was aimed at Paratici when he was at Juve. He was good at getting players in, but he wasn't good at getting them out again. So But West Ham, that's maybe a shout.
Yeah, West Ham.
I think Todibo is a very, very good addition, and then the other centre back that they bought as well from Wolves. Is Chilwell.
He's a good player. I think West Ham probably with a shout on the face of it on paper. They've had also equally decent transfer window. But I think, like Sean is saying, let's not look at the transfer window. And I think that's the mistake people made with Chelsea. You looked at the players that was brought in, but didn't look at the players that was brought out. And I think on Monday Night Football, when you looked at the Chelsea players that they sold, it's worse than what they have. I mean, the Chelsea players that they sold is better than what they currently have. They sold, Kovacic, Kante, the Silvers have got, they had some massive ballers.
And when they just sold Romelu Lukaku to
Napoli. Napoli, he's gone Napoli. I mean, I don't know what Conte's thing with Lukaku is, mate. Maybe he's getting a little backhander because Lukaku just looks like a heavyweight boxer. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the boy can barely breathe. And I don't know how the brother is going to be able to play that Conte ball, defending and having to run like a Kenyan marathon runner. But hey, what do I know? Conte is meant to be a legend, so let's see. But big up to everyone that's locked on. Destiny says that Brighton sold players for big money and have spent it well this season. Levy would never do that. Well, let's see. I think the players that we have bought are interesting up-and-coming talent. I think he has done it. Let's see if they come good. I think the question is not about whether Levy would never do that. It's whether the ones that we've bought, will they come good? Archie Gray, Bergvall.
Brighton's still buying players at good value prices. They're not spending 70, 80, 90 million. They're still getting players at relatively low prices, and they will turn them around. And I think we're copying them to a certain degree. With the data. Acquisition, so we'll see.
Yeah, Jordan, if you're right about Brighton, that means Brighton finished second. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to add anything more to it. If you're right about Brighton, then it means Brighton finished second.
No, Brighton aren't finishing above us.
There's no way. Tottenham are finishing third from what I've seen. We've been the best team in the opening weekend and we're fifth. Just saying. If you look at the stats and you look at the way we've been playing football, we've probably played the sexiest football so far in both weekends. And really and truly, if football was based on performances, Tottenham could easily have been +9 goal difference already. So just let that sink in. What a club, our club. Destiny's saying 200 million on Solanke, Johnson, Gray, and Wilson Odobert is risky. But, they say fortune favours the brave. We got to do it. These players...
What's the club motto, Destiny? What's the club motto? To dare is to do.
To dare is to do. Yeah, to dare
We're wearing Spurs shirts. We'll play the Tottenham way.
Come on, all day long. So, for me, I think we needed to dare to do. Fortune favours the brave. And I think we will see the best of it. But yeah, Sean, I'm doing a watch along on Sunday. The game is at 1:30. Before we leave today, big up to everyone locked in, locked on. Smash the like. We are going to try and get out content every day on this channel moving forward. And I'm going on Dan Potts in about an hour. But what's your prediction for the Newcastle game? Because I know we might not see each other before the game. What's the prediction, mate?
I think... I know you're quietly confident. I think we can come away with a draw, maybe a 2-2. And I'll be happy with that. I'll be and keep going, and go into the international break unbeaten. Yeah, you know, and then prepare ourselves for the game after the international break.
I just want to slap this Arsenal team. I can't wait. I really can't wait. In fact, Newcastle's in the way for me. Like Newcastle's, in fact, the international break is in the way.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's all in the way. It's
and there's another one to come soon as well. And tonight there's the Carabao Cup draw.
Yeah.
Then on Friday, it's the end of the transfer window. It's also the Europa League draw. Busy day Friday.
Busy. Well, sure, we might need to do something on Friday once we've seen the draw. Then talk about the teams that we're going to slap up in the Europa League. Look, I'm so confident about Tottenham's Europa League chances that I don't care who we draw. Yeah, that's the measure of a great team. When you don't care who you draw. I wish we were playing Arsenal this weekend. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the level. That's the chest that we have for our club. Anyway, Arsenal fans, let me tell you, it's better for you than it is for Spurs that you're not playing us yet. It's better for you. But the days are ticking down. Once we get past Newcastle this weekend, it is long. I agree with Jordan. I'm going with a Spurs win. I'm not sure if we'll do them 3-1. I think it's 2-1 Spurs, but I think we slapped them up. They were dusty against Bournemouth. They were fully dusty. Dusty team. And if they play like that against our club and we just step it up, we could hit them for 3 or 4 goals. I'm not joking. And they don't have their centre-backs. There's no Shah and there's no Botman. So they're playing whoever this guy is, Carthy or something like that. And they're playing Dan Burn. Dan Burn, you know. Dan Burn. Get him out.
They've also got they've got Mr. Toney back.
Oh, shaking his bum. Bring him back. Bring him back. Apparently he's playing tonight. So I'm going to watch Newcastle's game against Nottingham Forest. Hopefully Forest do what they do best, which is, you know, they turn up like a bunch of barbarians, as we know that they are, and they take some legs, really. That's what I expect. As for all these other cronies in the chat predicting Newcastle wins, I won't be putting it up.
They're not Newcastle fans, are they? They're obviously Arsenal fans.
You know what I mean? Shameless. No one here legitimately thinks that Newcastle's going to beat Spurs. And when Tottenham beat Newcastle this weekend, you best come to this channel with the same energy. Come with this same energy, because me and Sean, we're here to troll you guys all season. Artillero, I pull it up. You lot are Newcastle's whipping boys, bro.
Oh, are we? How many did we give them at our place last season?
We slapped them 4-1, mate. You wish you could. You wish you could. Yeah, you wish you could with Havertz up top. Havertz doesn't start for Spurs. Can you imagine? This team, these Arsenal fans, they're crazy. You know, they think we're mad, Sean. These guys are the craziest fans I've ever seen in my life. And then Dr. Johnny says, is Ben White on
tickling duty?
Yeah, bro.
Well, he'll get booked if he does that. So yeah, let him do it. Let him try it.
You know what I'm saying? Let him try that rubbish. Joe Lincoln should have been red carded, but wasn't, because the officials knew we were playing them. Yeah, I mean, look, don't. We know there's
card all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. That one.
We know there's corruption in the game. Just look at Arsenal. Yeah, enough said. Do you know what I mean? When you look at Arsenal, you know there's something wrong about the game. Sean, it's been a pleasure. We had a little transfer update. Ivan, Toney, Sterling. Let's hope our club between now and Friday surprises us with maybe 1 or 2 more signings. I think we need 1 or 2 more signings just to give that squad the final oomph, the final je ne sais quoi, that little thing. And then I think we could be excited. I think we should be really, really excited. I think the key for Spurs is no injuries, Sean. If we can hold out for as long as possible, it could be a very exciting times for you, my good friend. What do you think?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, looking forward to watching the game on Sunday.
Yeah. So on that note, everyone, thank you very much for being with us. Locked in, locked on. We'll be back probably on Friday. We'll do something tomorrow maybe, but definitely Friday. We'll be giving you transfer update, the final one, because I really do think there's going to be a couple more signings, and we'll be sharing with you the dusty Europa League group that Tottenham's been drawn in where we will be slapping everyone in their faces. As for you, everyone, enjoy the last of the summer wines. Enjoy the last of it. And we are out. As for the Newcastle fans tuning in later, I'm apologizing to you guys in advance. You guys are in for a royal slapping this weekend. Slapping this weekend. Just know that. And you can tell everyone that we told them so. So on that note, thanks very much. And we are out.